Okay, for this assignment, you're going to go to this website, tripadvisor.com, and you're going to collect some data. TripAdvisor is a place where people go to find out about hotels in different cities. So, for example, suppose I want to go to Tokyo. And I'm thinking about going from here to here. So you can find hotels. And up here they have categories. So all hotels, best value, business, family, luxury. And then they have the list of the hotels, and they have a lot of different data about each hotel, like it's ranked number 1 in the hotels of Tokyo, also in hotels of Shinjuku. And there's a rating by the reviewers. There were 972 people who have made reviews, and it's 4.5 points, so almost full points for this hotel. And then here's a Capital Hotel Tokyo, and this is ranked number 2, and so on. Okay, and so if we click on the Park Hyatt Hotel, we see lots of other data. We see traveler rating, which is excellent, very good, average, poor, and terrible. And there were 788 people who said excellent, and 136 people who said very good, and so on. We also have ratings summaries, like sleep quality, location, room, service, value, cleanliness, and how well it did there. This is on a scale from 1 to 5. I guess this number and this number are probably basically the same information. So this is 4.5 and this is 94%. I guess they mean the same thing. Like they're both saying how people rank them overall as positive. I'm not sure if they're really the same, but they might be. Okay, then you have the individual reviews. So here's a person who made a review, and they gave it the title, great service. They gave it 5 points, and another great Park Hyatt experience. The service here is top-notch. They really listen to what guests want. Agree with many reviewers here. The room is very spacious for Tokyo and well appointed, though not as modern as Park Seoul. Okay, so and you can read the full quote here, and same thing here, and so on. So this is the kind of data that is, or information that is on the TripAdvisor site. So what you're going to do is collect this kind of data, and you're going to collect the name of the hotel, which would be this. You're going to collect the city name, which would be Tokyo. It's not Shinjuku, just Tokyo. Then the sub-city name, which is Shinjuku. And then the percent number, which is this number here, 94, without the percentage sign. And the number of points of the hotel, which is here, 4.5. And the ratings summary for each of sleep quality, location, rooms, this stuff here. So sleep quality would be 5, this would be 4, and so on. The title of the review, which would be, if you choose this one, it would be great service. The number of points for that review, which would in this case be 5. And finally, no, sorry, not finally, but then also the whole text of the review. So to get the whole text of the review, you might have to click this more, and then you have to copy it and paste it into the text field of the and then finally the cheapest price mentioned for the hotel. So in this case that would be $487. And one more field, the date on which you collected this data. Okay, the date that the data was collected, and use the format, the Japanese format, so that it will be, let's say, like this. Okay, actually, let's use this format. Okay, then let's see, hotel name. So let's look at an example here. So the date is like this. We'll use this date format. Hotel name is here. City name is Tokyo. Subcity is Shinjuku. 94% we saw. Hotel points are here, 4.5. Review points are, this review was 5 points. Sleep quality and so on were here. 5, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5. Those are here. Ratings, value rating, cleanliness rating. Review title, great service. No quotation marks in there. So it says great service, but don't include the quotation marks. Number of points from the reviewer is here, 5. And text is all the text from here. This whole text, include all the way down to here, all the way up to here, the whole text. And yeah. And then cheapest price is 480. Where is it? Here, 487. And currency is US dollars for the cheapest price. Okay, so you want to fill this out, and you need to do this for a total of 40 reviews. Oh, wrong, sorry. A total of 20 hotels, 2 reviews from each hotel. Half of the hotels should come from one city, and half from another city. Okay? So that's what you should do. So it's going to be 40 altogether, because 20 hotels, 2 reviews for each hotel. Okay? So some of the data will be the same, because you'll have 2 reviews from each hotel. So a lot, some of these fields like the city name and the hotel name will be the same for both of those for both of those, because they're both going to be the same hotel. So some of the fields will be the same, but some of them won't be different. And also, for example, if the cheapest price is not mentioned, or if a price is not mentioned, sometimes prices are not mentioned, then put in NA. Okay? Capital N, capital A. And also here, if no subcity is mentioned, like here, Shinjuku, then put in NA again. I think that's the only ones where you need NA. Yeah. Okay, now, the alternative site where you can collect data is Kickstarter, kickstarter.com. And this is a website for people who are trying to start some kind of business or project or something. So we can click here and discover great projects, and we can see what's popular this week and staff picks and so on. Recent updates, and so you can hunt around on this site, and then you can collect data about different projects. Now, I'm not going to give you the spreadsheet for the, well, maybe I will. So let's just go through this quickly about Kickstarter, because if you want to, you can collect data from Kickstarter. So the internet has fundamentally altered the way we shop and enjoy media. Online stores such as Amazon have gradually eroded the need for physical retail locations, and services like iTunes changed the way we purchase content. However, until recently, these changes have largely been on the consumption side. The model for how content is created has remained relatively constant. This is especially true in the video game industry. Making a game required huge capital investment for three reasons: the cost of labor for large teams, cost of creation, cost of printing physical copies of the game. Of the three costs mentioned above, two have been greatly reduced. The cost of development platforms has fallen thanks to programs like Unity, which can be licensed cheaply and despite these revolutions, costs still remain. Even small-scale games usually require a group of talented workers, including artists, sound designers, programmers, and PR. Kickstarter.com offers a new solution for raising these funds. Kickstarter falls into a new category called crowdfunding. So Kickstarter is about using crowdfunding to get funding. And if we look at the website, for example here, we can see here's a game called The Game of Books, and it had a lot of backers. It got this money, and it was actually funded. Now, as I understand it, the way Kickstarter works is you say how much money you need, and if you get enough people so that it reaches that amount, then they pay you the money. But otherwise, they don't pay you the money. So you have to reach your actual funding goal in order to get the money. So this was actually funded, so they must have gotten the money that they needed. And here you can see different information about this project. Now, if you want to do this instead of TripAdvisor, you're going to have to study how Kickstarter actually works. Okay? So I'm not that familiar with it, but these are important here: updates, backers, comments. So how many times did they update the project, and how many backers do they have, and how many comments? So these are important to whether or not the project actually succeeds or not. So the data that you're going to collect is the following data here. So you have to go on and find out what are the funds, how much funds were they asking for. So that's, whoops, wrong one. So, here. How many Facebook followers do they have? This number. How many updates were there? This number. How many backers do they have? This number. How many comments were there? This number. You know, comments are a kind of indicator of interest in the project, right? What was the end date of the project? What was the launch date of the project? How much money did they ask for? This amount. How much did they actually collect? This amount. Were they successful or not? That means, did they get 100% of the funding or not? So that's going to be a yes-no variable, like y or n. You can also put it as 1 or 0. So you can have, I'm asking you for a separate column here. This is basically the same variable, but we're recoding it as 1 or y. Okay, the minimum pledge with award was $5. The minimum pledge for a hard copy of the game is $13. So you're going to have to look up what these mean if you want to do this data set. Is it an individual or not? That means the group that's trying to get the money. Is it an individual, or is it like a group of people? So that's a yes-no variable. Previous experience or not? So you'll have to check about what that is. Physical reward. so sometimes they'll give you some kind of reward for making the investment, like a T-shirt or something like that. And so that's a yes/no variable. Front page. Is it on the games page or not? Staff pick or not? Yes or no? New expansion of a line of products. And game genre video. Okay, so I will give you a sheet with a bunch of data already on it. And then I want you to continue to add on to that sheet if you choose to do Kickstarter. Otherwise, you can do TripAdvisor. Okay? And this sheet will contain 216 different, well, almost 216 different Kickstarter projects, but then you're going to have to add your own as well after the, so starting from 217, I'll delete this. So that's the first part of your project for this week, and you have to collect the data. And you can choose to do TripAdvisor or Kickstarter. And you're going to put the results of this in a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet will be called, if it's TripAdvisor, it will be called tripadvisordata.yourname.yourid. And if it's Kickstarter, it's going to be kickstarterdata.yourname.yourid. And if it's the Kickstarter one, you can include. No, actually, what you should do is delete the data that's already there. I'll just give it to you so that you can see where it came from. You can see examples of it, but when you submit yours, you should delete the data that I gave you. Okay, and you should put that in the following folder. You should put that in either the TripAdvisor data or the Kickstarter data folders in here. So that's the report submit folder, my name. There's a folder now called Information Science Lab Fall 2013, Week 2 homework, and then these two folders. So you should put that in there as an Excel sheet. Okay, after you do that, then I want you to do some R work, and that is I want you to try and read these files into R. And I want you to paste in the commands that you used to successfully read them into R. If you have trouble, then you can try deleting certain of the fields and then trying to read it into R. So, for example, if you have trouble, I think you'll have, in fact, I'm going to tell you that for this data, you should delete the text column before you try to read it into R. So just delete the text column and then try and read it into R. We won't try and get the text column into R. And also the review title, maybe. So get rid of any textual columns. This you can leave in. And finally, if you still have trouble, you can delete this one. These should be no problem. And the hotel name shouldn't be a problem either. And then I want you to give me the commands that you used. And what I mean by give me the commands is, first of all, so you'll use a bunch of commands. Now, what I want you to do is save the commands that you used. So you go to File and Save History. And then it's going to save the history, and you need to note where the history is. Of course, it should be going into your working directory, wherever that is, and you should have actually a special directory for this project. I would advise that. And you should know what I mean by that. You should be able to set that up because you watched today's videos. So anyway, I don't have one special. Oh, here it is. I'll use this. And well, I would save it here. I don't want to actually save it here because I don't want to overwrite this one. But I would save it here, and then afterwards you would go to that directory, and you'd find the history. You'd right-click on it. You'd open it with a text editor like Notepad++, and you would see the commands. Then you'll copy those commands, whatever the ones you needed to open the file, and you will paste them in to the homework area on Blackboard. So that means you'll go to here, Week 2 Homework, you'll click on it, and you will paste it in here. Okay? And then after you paste that in, whatever the comments were, that didn't work. I'm sorry, whatever the commands were, you'll paste them in like that. And then underneath, you should give a description of any problems that you had and so on, so that I get an idea of what you've tried to do. If you didn't have any problems, that's great. You don't need to write anything, but just paste in the comments. Okay? So that's your assignment for this week.